The House of the Dead remake has released. House of the Dead by Sega's AM1 arcade division. It was developed by Megapixel Studio and published by Forever Entertainment under license from Sega. 2 years ago, Polish studio Forever Entertainment released an HD remake of Sega Saturn classic Panzer Dragoon. At the time stated that the remake was interesting but flawed, but ultimately concluded that even though it wasn't perfect, we were glad it at least existed so that more people could at least get a chance to play it in some form. Fast forward to the present day and Forever Entertainment is back with another remake of a classic Sega IP, and this time it's the legendary arcade light gun shooter The House of the Dead. As fate would have it, it turns out our opinion of it is much the same as Forever's take on Panzer Dragoon. It's welcome, but it's not perfect. The House of the Dead remake has 2 modes: Story, which is pretty much just the original experience, and Horde, which is a new option that is basically the same but with up to a whopping 15 times more zombies on the screen at once. Outside of the sheer volume of enemies, Horde goes through the same 4 stages and same boss battles, although enemies also take a lot more bullets before going down. It feels a little redundant since Story mode already has 4 escalating difficulty options: Easy, Normal, Hard, and Arcade, but still found plenty of satisfying challenge in it as a veteran of the series. Putting Horde on its own arcade difficulty level ends up being a true test of your skills too. How you take damage has also been adjusted slightly from the original, with the amount of damage you take from different enemies scales up in the higher difficulties. Simulating the arcade setting, each run gives you 10 continues that act as lives. Once you run out, you can buy more by spending the points you've earned on the current run, otherwise, it's game over. You earn points by finding bonus items like coins and, more commonly, defeating enemies. The points vary depending on where you aim and the enemy itself, which encourages more than just blind shooting. And while the classic scoring method is available, there's also the welcome addition of a new modern scoring option which offers multipliers for doing things like killing a certain number of enemies in a row. The 2 modes, combined with the difficulty options and different score systems, certainly provide a lot of replay value, and the ability to tailor your settings to your tastes make this remake more approachable to a wider audience. Yet, I was disappointed that additional options like the boss mode or training mode that are part of the House of the Dead 2 weren't included here. There's at least a gallery mode that lets you take a close look at all of the weapons you unlock and enemies you defeated, as well as some amusing cheat codes for things like infinite ammo and unlimited continues that only unlock once you complete a certain number of built-in achievements, but those are only entertaining for so long. Megapixel sought updating the House of the Dead's graphics and gameplay for modern audiences. Legal and technical issues prevented them from using the original game's assets. To mimic light gun gameplay, the team opted to use the Nintendo Switch's gyro controls. Sega and their AM1 division had little to no involvement with the game. As wonderfully versatile as the Switch is, light gun games can prove a little tricky for it because there's no truly perfect way to replicate the experience. The Wii provided one of the best and most accurate home light gun experiences because its sensor bar provided constant tracking of the remote's pointer, but without a sensor bar the Switch has to rely purely on gyro controls, and that isn't ideal. The House of the Dead remake is an easy recommendation for hardcore fans who have been waiting decades for a better way to play it at home, but it's a much harder sell for anyone else. The options for difficulty and scoring make it more approachable compared to the original's harsh difficulty curve, but frustrating controls, poor gyro aiming, and some unfortunate technical issues can be scarier than the zombies themselves. There's plenty of fun to be had with this classic if you are willing to put the time into learning its nuances, but I can't help but feel like more could have been done to improve and refine a return I've been waiting decades for. So as always, thank you for watching.